Welcome to the Holistic-Yogi Gentle Flow Yoga. Today's series is for deep relaxation. Your yoga practice does not need to be perfect. Just let it be your time to feel alive. Let's roll our mat and let's get started. We're going to begin slowly by setting intentions. Take a couple breaths in, and when you're ready, place yourself on all fours and sink into your heels into a child pose. Take a couple breaths. Just feel the stretch taking place. And coming slowly into Cobra and through a transition into an upward facing dog. Inhaling deeply, knees off the ground, opening up the chest, draw the shoulders down, and coming into a downward facing dog. Walk your feet up and down, and just allow yourself to ground each heel at a time, stretching the back of the legs firmly, feeling everything, all the legs stretch completely. Breathe, and then press both heels. Lift the heels up and down a few times, and then press into a plank press, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and then raise the right leg, opening up. Make sure you bend the knee and really feel the stretch taking place as you bring now that foot forward to the knee to your elbow, extend it, bring the knee to the opposite elbow, and then extend again fully. Bring the knee to your forehead, hold, and then extend again. Drop the leg behind you into a three-legged dog, hiking up the glutes, extending not only the left leg and the right leg stays slightly bent, arching your back as far as you can and breathing deeply in this deep pose. Then release, place your palm back down, extending that right leg back up into the ceiling, and then bring the foot forward, dropping the left knee into now a low lunge. Make sure you tuck the tailbone slightly. Keep your right knee right over that right ankle, and then bring the left hand down and go into a side twist. Raise now that knee up, and keep yourself here as long as you need to. Then come back out and sink into your heel. Feel that stretch, and we're going to pull ourselves back up the way we came. Knee up on the left. Take the right foot back into a downward facing dog. Walk your heels up and down, and then come slowly into a transition upward facing dog. And then allow yourself to come into the puppy pose. Your knees and your hips are in alignment, and you can extend the chin forward to really feel the stretch on the back of the shoulders. Then transition into Cobra and into upward facing dog and down dog, with now repeating the left leg. Tap the elbow to knee, extend the leg. Now tap that same elbow, that knee to your opposite elbow, extend the leg, bringing it to the forehead and hold. Then extend back up into the ceiling. Bend at the knee and drop behind you as you go into the three-legged dog, hiking up the glutes and arching your back. Just really go deep into your breath, feeling each stretch. Now raise the right leg and fully extend, coming into now that low lunge. Raise the arms up above you, feeling the stretch taking place in the chest. Place your right hand down, knee up on the right as you now extend the left arm, fully twisting. Bring the hand back down and sinking into your heel. Stretch the left leg. Let's go ahead and now really feel the stretch taking place on the left side. Toes are pointing up to the ceiling. If you can bring the forehead down, go for it. If not, then don't worry. Do what you can. Lean forward and then step back. down dog. And then we're going to slowly now transition away. Down to the floor, knees down. And let's come into the cat-cow. As we now inhale on the way up, exhale, round the spine and chin to chest. Inhale up, look up, exhale, round the spine. Inhale up, exhale, round the spine. Inhale up, and now release. Coming into now needle of thread as we take the right arm and scoop it right through. Taking the left arm to the ceiling, hold this pose. Feel the stretch taking place here. Take a couple of deep breaths. And you can always hold any side longer if that's the part that needs most work. Let's repeat now. Opposite side, left arm up and scoop it under. Extend now the right arm up to the ceiling. Allow yourself to slowly focus only on the breath. Place your palm back down and now extend the right arm forward, left leg back. Find your balance, and when you do, grab the ankle, pull the leg up. Keep your pelvis squared as much as possible. Releasing now that arm and take the right hand to the floor. Go into that modified half moon. Hold and then drag the foot forward. And we're going to feel this a little bit now into the hip end, also quads. So turn your foot out to the side. You're going to grab the right ankle, pull the heel into the glute. And then release, stepping back, right into down dog. Raise the right leg forward, place your foot down, right between the hands. And we're going to do the same thing here, where we take the left hand right by the foot, grab a hold of the ankle, and now we open up. Make sure the toes are now pointing wherever your chest is pointing. You can pull the foot away from the glute to really feel that stretch taking. It's like a little challenge here. If not, keep the heel to glute. Slowly grab the ankles, and I want you to extend by looking forward and extend the tailbone back, so you're really straightening as much as possible. You can also fold forward as long as you're not rounding the back. So modify whichever position is easier, hands to ankles, or you can come into a full forward fold. Bend the knees and let's roll up slowly, rolling the shoulders back a few times just to relax the shoulders, release any tension that may be building up in that area, and then forward again. Let us step out now to the right, where our toes are facing forward on a mat. And let's place our hands on the hips. And we're going to fold forward. Now, for modification, you saw me walk to the wall, where I place myself basically leaning against the wall, and our arms are forward. That's for those that cannot touch the floor. It makes it easier. Now I'm pulling myself away for more challenge, and you can always take your hands out of the mat and walk as far as you can, lengthening the spine. If you find you have lengthened or you have no problem lengthening, you can walk your hands back towards the center between the legs and drop the crown. So there's different ways of modifying this particular pose to accommodate each person. Center now the right hand and take the left one up into the ceiling, stacking the shoulders, and you're gazing into the thumb on the right. Release it, and now let's repeat on the left. Make sure you're taking those deep inhalations and exhalations to allow the muscles to warm up, create that oxygen flowing through those muscles so they can release and expand. Let us roll up slowly, and we're now going to cross over right hand to left, stacking again, just going into a deeper stretch. And we're going to release and do the same for the other side. Just focus on stacking the shoulders and that also the shoulders and the wrist are in alignment with each other. Let us roll back up, and let's come into now our next pose. Extending now that arm over. This is Uddita Parvarganasana. This is where we extend that arm over our head and our knee is bent. Hold it for 5 breaths and repeat on the left, making sure you're stacking the shoulders on top of each other and that you can place the palm. You can always modify with a block as well. Then come back up, and let's now go into the same pose, but we're going to reverse it. For beginners, keep the hand on the inside of the foot. Intermediate ones can take the hand on the outside and just stack the shoulders, making sure that the back foot is, the heel is facing the ceiling. Let us repeat now, other side. Same thing, 5 breaths per side. You can hold one longer than the other if the intention there is to really release because it's super tight, then hold it a little longer and then slowly come back out. Now we're coming into a standing pigeon. This one you can modify. If you cannot touch the ground like I am doing here, you can grab a furniture, anything, hands on top of it to go a little higher, and all you're doing is squatting low as the ankle's on top of the knee. Do this for 5 counts, and you're going to do the same for the other side. You can also use a block if you are very close to the ground. And just feel yourself stretching that hip and breathe, and then slowly release. Coming and extending the arms up, folding forward, face ahead, step back, plank and press, upward facing dog, and let's sink into our child pose. Let us slowly now place our palms right by our chest, lift ourselves up on our knees, and we're going to come into our camel pose where we reach for both hands, the actual heels or ankles. If you cannot reach with both hands because you're super tight on the hamstring, you can always modify one hand and alternate 4 counts on each. Then come into a child pose and rest. Slowly sliding through Cobra as we now come into the ground. Take a couple moments now. Lift your chest and your legs, hands back by your hips. Hold this again 5 to 8 counts depending on your level. Now you're going to sit into hero's pose. Hold this pose 5 to 8 breaths. You can use a block as shown. Sit comfortably and focus on breathing. Slowly coming out, extend the legs forward, and we're going into Janus Sirasana where we take the left heel into the groin and the right leg extends forward. We reach, exhale and reach for the top of the toes, lengthen the spine, 5 breaths, and you're going to repeat it on the opposite leg. Release it now, and now we lift ourselves into a reverse plank, also known as supine plank. Hold 5 to 8 breaths, your choice, and roll back down. Scoot yourself forward towards your heels, rolling down into the ground. As we are now on the ground, make sure your hands can touch the heels. Keep your feet hip width. Now lift the pelvis up into bridge and make sure that you're placing enough weight into the shoulder. You're balancing the weight on the feet completely from heel to toes, and then you can interlace your fingers underneath, engaging on the entire back and glute. This you hold for 5 to 8 counts. Once you're ready, roll back down and then scoop the legs over your head into what we call plow. Try to straighten those legs as much as possible. Deep stretch into the neck and also your back. Roll out slowly and bring the soles of your feet together as we now stay here, breathing calmly. And just allow yourself to stay present with the breath. If your thought comes in through your mind, allow yourself to go back into the breath. Feel the body and allow yourself to feel how each breath enters in through your chest, expanding, and on the exhalation, just allow yourself to sink. Feel a sense of calmness, peace, and just focus just that breathing. Take those deep inhalations in and back out of the mouth. Very effective. Extend the legs if you wish to really get comfortable into that final relaxation. Hold this pose here in Savasana for about 10 to 15 breaths. Thank you for joining me today. Please like and subscribe to help others view this content. Also know that my app is now available on Google Play and Apple.